I'm Andy Langland with Camping Logic, and here is today's van review.
My name's Isle. This is my girlfriend Sabrina. This is my Chevy G20. It's a 95 with a V6. Actually really fun van. I lived in it for about just under a year, and been driving it as my daily driver ever since. We're coming up on 100,000 miles now, and yeah, holding strong. We've been using it more as a daily driver these days, just kind of doing beach trips and such. We did stay out in Joshua Tree a couple times. This thing's actually really good for desert camping. You know, it doesn't get too hot, it stays pretty cold, and the boards help for insulation too. Yeah, I actually have all my camping gear in here every day. So I've got all my goods in here. Camp stove, hatchet, notepads for writing, and got charcoal in here. Yeah, the whole 9 yards. They've got like a cot and an extra tent if we have extra people. Over here is like a mat. And then I got these awesome milk crates that I just kind of fill with everything else, all the miscellaneous goods. This bench seat, when I first got it, was actually turned facing the driver window. And there was a big cage in the back. And I knew we weren't gonna do any creepy stuff with the thing, so we got rid of the cage. And I left the bench like this for a while, which was good for when I was living in it because the cot was laid out behind it. And then I had room to like navigate around to get up to the driver's seat. But now that I don't have to live in it anymore, we just turned it sideways, and now it's like a little living room. You know, you can sit in here, read a book, still have room for all our boards. We can get 2 up top, and then I can fit all 4 of the other ones just right through the middle here. I've even got one up here on the wall. Alright, so this board rack setup is actually a really cheap Home Depot run. So these are the 24-inch bungees and electrical conduit holders. And those things are really cheap. You can get those for like change.
What did you screw them into the thing with?
Just a little metal piercing screws. Those things will go in this kind of cheap metal pretty easily. And then a couple of these with a little duct tape holding them on there. And yeah, and then you connect the bungees on the other side just right into the frame of the van. On this side, this is kind of where I lean the nose in, and it kind of helps keep from hitting everybody on the top of the head. Same thing with the conduit holders. This one's a little bigger. And then this right there is actually a shower pole. And then I just wrapped it in fabric, the same as on the roof. Yeah, so I used to have the cot sit up on the sidewall, but now I can just hang all my clothes here and kind of keep like a wardrobe for work and everything. So this rack here that I've got all my towels and blankets and everything hanging up on was actually a repurposed easel. I took the easel apart and kind of made it work for me in the space. There are already holes drilled into the back on the beams, so I just made it work. Insulation on here was actually a really fun project that I did with my mom. She's really talented with fabric, and so we went and found this one, and it ended up turning out into this really awesome black and white native pattern on the roof. Sometimes sand isn't the best thing, especially when it's in your van. I like to keep a clean ship, you know, spick and span. Except the exterior is kind of dirty right now, so scratch that. So these mats are actually made out of recycled bottles, and they're really good beach mats because they don't get wet, and it's really easy to shake up the sand. My one major suggestion for anybody planning to live or camp in their van is definitely stay organized. Once you start letting things clutter in the space, you're living in a tube full of trash, and that's no good, not even for a rat. All we gotta say is that van life is the good life.
I'm Andy Langland with Camping Logic. Thanks for watching. As always, if you like what you see, give us a like and a follow and a share. Thanks a lot.